Well, hey, everybody, welcome to another CP Media podcast brought to you, of course, by Team CP, your endurance coaching specialist. I'm Angus Petrie, alongside me, Richard Greer, coming to you live tonight from the Mo Media studio. A Whaka 100, season number 2, Richard. Hey, how about that?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Whaka 100, what a great event. It's just so much fun. Let's just go and ride our mountain bikes lots, cheer each other on and have a good time.
Mate, there's some shredding to do in that 100 kilometres or 160 kilometres it's going to be for you, isn't it?
So, that's right. Or 50 or 25 or 10 or 5, you just name it. Got it all.
Yeah, whatever your poison is, really, isn't it? But it's getting close. That's what we know, Richard. It's getting very, very close now. The day is nearly here. We are all but at that start line.
That's right. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to kind of, a few tips around last minute preparations. We're going to have a chat to a couple of key people that are going to be there on the day and just kind of get you fizzed up about race day.
Yeah, we got 2 really good guests tonight. We've got one absolute superstar, and then we've got Anton Cooper as well. Jokes. So we've got Anita Goodman on tonight. We're going to talk to Anita first, and of course we will have Anton Cooper on here live with us as well. So really exciting show.
So Anita, we've been tracking her through this season too, basically on how her build-up's gone. She's done the 50, trained for the 100. The 100 got cancelled, unfortunately, so back to do the 100 for the first time. So really keen to have a bit of a check-in to see how she's going and if those little levels of enthusiasm are still high or are they wavering a little bit. And then obviously it's awesome to have Anton on the start line for the first time up as well. So keen to hear how he's shaping up and what he's looking forward to most.
Yeah, and of course we must remember that the Whaka 100 this year, the actual 100K is a national marathon champs too. So there is a national title jersey on the line this year, which is bloody exciting. And a little birdie tells me there's like our top 7 male mountain bikers or something, New Zealand mountain bikers on the start line, as well as some Australians. So that's going to be one heck of an exciting race.
It's going to be pretty exciting, isn't it? And being in the miler event, I might be able to see the start of that race go past me as I'm sort of out there groveling in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to give me a text update of who's in the lead.
Well, a bit of a selfie maybe as I come past.
Can you sign here? Can you give me your autograph?
Yeah, that's right. So a few different things going on. Just make sure when you get down to the event, there's a whole bunch of things that Tim and the crew have got organised. The Inner City Mountain Bike Road Gain on Thursday night. That's a pretty cool initiative. And the Urban Eliminator Friday night. So it's a 90-second course that girls and guys are going to be lapping out. There's going to be all sorts of different obstacles and things. So a great sort of way to kind of get in the vibe of the weekend and get things started.
Festival vibe. That's what it's going to be. Good rumor says also that one of my favorite parts of any sporting event, the pubs, the beer is going to be there. The guys are getting right into it. They're taking their stalls to the road, almost some beanbags, a whole event atmosphere, really. So get involved. If you are there, make sure you do partake in all of the things that they've got going on.
That's right. And obviously you do need to register before the day before your event. So if you're doing the 50, you have to be there on Friday night. So just roll into town and see what's happening.
Are you entering the eliminator?
Probably not. I'd love a bit of carnage, but probably not my own carnage. So yeah, that's right. So no, I think I might keep my powder dry and just cheer a few others on.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Righto. Good. Let's get into it. So Anita Goodman, is she in the backstage there?
I believe Anita has made it to our start line. That's for sure. Oh, I pushed that button. It didn't happen. Let me just try that again. There we go. Hello, Anita. Welcome.
How are you getting on?
Good. Nice to see you guys again.
Good stuff. What's the level of enthusiasm? Like, you've been pretty enthusiastic this whole series, this whole season. Where are we at? Are we still up there? Are we starting to waver a little bit?
You know me, enthusiasm always.
Good. Fantastic. So how have you been since we last caught up? What's been happening?
Few big rides, actually quite a few big rides during the course. And yeah, just riding the bike as much as possible.
Good. What are the legs like? Have we overdone it, underdone it? Could you have done a bit more? What do you think?
I reckon I could have done more. But also I was nervous to do more because I didn't want to overcook it. So yeah, it is what it is now. There's a week to go. So meh.
But you've got local advantage knowledge, right? You've got, training.
I probably do. Yeah, and definitely
there's a lot in that,
There is. Well, also the last month I have done quite a bit, just to kind of build the confidence a bit more because I am. I don't know if I can say I'm still new to mountain biking. It's been a couple of years now, but I need to learn those trails to make up for what I lack in skill. Because I lack some skill.
Oh, just close your eyes and have a crack at it. Yeah, that's right. And that's the thing, I think, with any endurance event, we always feel like we can do more, but there comes a point that actually it is what it is now. I've just got to walk forward to the challenge and have a crack at it. And it sounds like that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah, it is what it is now. And I don't think there's much I can do in the next week. So it is what it is. Let's just show up and have a good time. You
know what you can do this week is you can sleep well and eat well. That's what you can do this week.
I'm hoping to sleep well. I'm really nervous about, I get a little bit of sleep anxiety, especially before events. So I'm actually really worried that the night before I won't sleep and then I'll be stuffed.
Good one, Anne, because she was going really well to that. With like, this has been a really exciting day. We're nervous about it. It's your fault.
A couple of magnesium tablets and a couple of antihistamine tablets the night before, you'll sleep like a log, I tell you. Or what's better, a couple of gins, that'll calm the nerves.
That will not be good for me at all. I don't drink, so that'll be a terrible idea.
Okay, listen to a thing he says, okay?
Coaching 101.
Yeah, but I guess it is just a matter of go to bed early, give yourself a chance to sleep. It's still a lie down. You're never going to sleep well the night before. So just as long as it's the night before and the night before that, just go and rest. As your mum said, as long as you're resting, you'll be fine.
We are digressing, but you know what I used to do is I used to beat myself up when I couldn't sleep. Like you lie there and you go, I need to sleep.
And you think everyone else is sleeping and resting. Oh, God.
Yeah. And I think what I learned over the years was actually don't beat myself up about I can't sleep, because that actually only ever made it worse. And
makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. So just got to remember, okay, I can't sleep. That's normal. I'll just lie here and relax a bit and not beat myself up about it.
Good. Well, enough of the Dr. Phil sort of sleep stuff, isn't it?
It's not what
yeah, but that's good stuff. It is. It really is. What will you be doing between now and race day other than sleeping well and eating well? Is there any other sort of key things you got on the cards?
Some gardening.
Okay, good. Like it.
Don't overdo the garden. It really calm.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place, the garden.
Yeah. Okay,
I love my garden. No, just not a lot happening between now and race day. Just light exercise, trying to just relax a lot, really. Although it's also birthday week, so I might have some, I don't know, shut myself to some massages and facials and things.
What day is happy birthday?
Tuesday. 36 years old. What happened?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, fantastic. Gosh. Yeah, that's awesome. So plenty
these bloody youngies of today.
Exactly, back in my day. Yeah, that's right. What are you most nervous about in regards to race day?
Oh, I think probably the sleep thing.
Okay, right. Yep, just getting to the start line and feeling good there.
Yeah, I was last time we spoke really nervous about hot cross, but I've got a plan for that now. Where the last couple of weeks of riding have got my plan for Kung Fu and hot cross. So yeah, it's sleep now. I think I'm the most nervous about making sure I get good rest and good sleep, and that on the day I don't show up with tired muscles.
Did you have somebody helping you with those, or like have you had some coaching, or have you had somebody that rides it regularly to teach you, or have you just done a bit of rinse and repeat?
Just a bit of rinse and repeat, and just some riding buddies the last couple of weeks. And for hot cross, I've actually decided that the sections that scare me, I'm just going to walk them. I've got the plan now. I'm like, actually, right. I'm just going to be, I know that I'm going to be tired, and I know that it gives me a little bit of anxiety. So I've just made the call already that I'm just going to walk the parts that I'm nervous about, and lose a bit of time, but I will finish.
Now that is some of the most sensible tip I've heard in a long time, and it's actually one that works really, really well. Digressing, this isn't Whaka, Tim won't mind, but 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐇𝐓 has a terrible rock section in it, and
I've done it. It's horrible, and I don't know why do people go back and do 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐇𝐓 more than once?
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, but let's not talk about that. But what I want to say there is that rock section, the thing is, it scares the hell out of everybody, especially if it's wet and slippery. But I've actually found in my years of doing it that actually you're better just to get off, walk down it, and get through it safe, because you see, like, it's a big bloodbath down there some days, and it's just as efficient sometimes as doing that. And what you've just said there about some of those features in the Whaka 100, don't be afraid. Get off your bike, walk it. You won't end up with a grazed elbow or a sore wrist or something like that. You'll get back on and you'll carry on, and you've probably just used a different set of muscles for 3 seconds as well, which is always good.
Yeah, and making this decision before the day that I'm going to walk it, it just takes all the kind of nervousness away of going, yep, cool, I'm going to walk it. decision made.
Well, you probably only lose 10 to 15 seconds. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see what the difference was. It won't be much. And for those that haven't ridden the course, you're fortunate that actually you can go and ride that. But for those that haven't ridden the course, just ride up to something, have a look at it. And if you're not happy with rolling off it, actually just make that call and away you go. And you're going to have a smile on your face and you're going to be able to finish well. So there is definitely tricky sections, especially in the 100K. It's not quite so tricky in the 50. It doesn't go some of those grade 4 trails. So just take your time. Look at stuff. If you're not happy with it, just walk. It's great.
And everything's a lot harder when you're fatigued. So later on in that 100K race, you are going to be fatigued and your mental space is worn out, all those things. Everything is harder.
Good. Well, we've talked enough about the hard and the things we're worried about. What are the things you're most looking forward to, Anita?
I'm most looking forward to actually just doing it. It's been 2 years for me now since I entered the Whaka 100. And it was an event I never was sure I was actually going to have the confidence to do anyway. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and now I get to actually race it.
Perfect. And is it? Are you just going to be soaking up the whole atmosphere? Like, is it? Or actually, I really just want to get to the finish line, or is?
I'll be soaking it all up, definitely.
Yeah. Good, fantastic.
There's a part of me. I was in two minds about whether I was going to just, ride along and have a good time or actually try to race it. And I still haven't really decided on the day. I guess it'll just depend on how I feel. Because with the running it in January earlier this year, I'd answered the questions for myself about how I would actually do time-wise. Now it's been an interesting year. Last year was just about racing and trying to get into racing and the New Zealand Mountain Bike Crown and doing all that. Then got a bit dark on racing after it all got cancelled. So this year's been about more fun and volunteering. So yeah, it'll be a bit of a mix for me with this year's event of just really being excited that it's finally happened, because it's been a real long time coming, and maybe race it.
Well, I think it's just like it's such a long time that you're out there for. When you're doing long endurance-y type stuff, there's only moments you can race. If you race too much, you end up blowing yourself up too early. So it is a thing, like actually just go and enjoy yourself and get off the start line in good shape and pace yourself well. And hey, towards the back end of the race, if you've still got some legs left, well then, let's start pinging some people off, because I get the feeling that you're the type of person that will get a little bit competitive anyway. So, but it's nice not to. Yeah, it's nice not to have to put pressure on yourself. Actually, I'm just going to do my own ride. I'm going to enjoy that. And then as the ride develops, then I can sort of do a bit more and go a bit deeper.
My advice.
Are we allowed to have him on? I'm not sure.
My advice is race the second 50.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's been so many people over the years that have tried to race it, but they only ever race the first 50 and then they blow up exponentially after 50K. So my advice is, if you're going to race it, make sure you're racing the second 50, not the first 50.
That is actually
and I do have the advantage that because I've done most of the course, and a lot of it was in last year's one. I know the sections that I can power up on and which ones I need to take a bit of a chill pill on. So yeah, I should be able to set a steady pace for the however long it takes, whether it be 7 and hopefully not 8.
Good stuff. Well, rest up, look after yourself, and look forward to meeting you in real life.
IRL.
Yes, exactly. I've just learned that. That's really good. So yeah, have a great week, and we'll look forward to catching up with you very soon.
Cool. Have a great week yourselves. See you on the weekend.
Yeah, well done. Cheers.
Go well, Anita.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye. Oh, yeah,
good enthusiasm.
So much enthusiasm, right? How good.
Yeah.
Love it. I do love that. Well, we've just talked to Anita about how she's at, but I want to know, Rich, where are you at? You've got 100 miles to get through. Legend.
Well, we'll see if that legend status is
legend
full. Where am I at? Like I think, as Anita said, you always feel like you could do more, and I guess I've done a couple of big days and got through those reasonably well, 9 hours kind of plus, and still pedaling my bike at the end of it, a bit of groveling and things going on. So I think for me, it actually 100 miles, it's just a management job as much as anything. And so yeah, let's just go and have a crack. I'm reasonably fit, so we'll just go and see what happens.
And you are an endurance expert, let's be honest. You've been down endurance racing before. You know how to pace yourself. You know how to look after your body, and that'll be the most thing. The old fueling, you know, it's an eating competition disguised as a mountain bike race, really, isn't it?
And I do enjoy that as well. So yeah, that's exactly right. Like I have, done sort of full day stuff, multi-day stuff, etc. So definitely a bit of experience helps out, but there definitely will be some groveling as well, and there will definitely be bits that I don't want to be there anymore. But we'll just go and have as much fun as we can and go and ride every trail in the forest and a few more, and maybe a couple of times for a few. So, and we'll go and see what happens.
Now, I don't like to be a telltale or a titty tat or whatever you want to call it, but a little birdie tells me that you got yourself a brand new giant bike,
right?
All lovely flash and things.
Well,
took it on its maiden voyage and you broke it.
Yeah,
is this true? Did you?
Yeah, that's right. I in Hamner actually just bombing down just about onto the full drive track at the bottom, and then boom, had a big rock and cracked the carbon wheel at the back. So that wasn't very good. Yeah, so I've just got that sorted today, actually. So we're back online, and it should be good to go. So bike service, she's all sweet. The awesome guys at Evo Cycles, they have done an awesome job of that. So yeah, we should be good to go, hopefully.
Okay, well, what are you not looking forward to in the miler?
I'll try not to think about that too much. That's a good question. I guess it's just managing legs, really, and just like that whole cramping thing that can go on. I think but that just comes down to pacing. And actually the thing is,
what are you looking forward
to? The main thing that I still dislike about endurance events is our event starts at 5 a.m. in the morning. So I haven't even looked at what time I have to get up. I don't know.
What time's porridge?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be 3:30 or 4 a.m., one of those sort of ones, isn't it? That sort of range. And when the alarm goes, I'm still not into that. That's my, once I get my feet on the floor, I'm okay there. But it's just like, oh God, why am I even doing this? What am I doing this for? Whose idea was this? Can I just kind of roll over? But you can't. So that's the thing I'm least looking forward to.
And you've got nobody there to pull your britches on for you. Right?
Exactly. It's just me.
It's just you. Yeah. It's just you. Okay. Well, let's, there is one other thing. Just because you're doing the miler, it doesn't mean that you get out of one feature.
What is that?
Well, I mean, it's well publicized that swimming is, was that going to work or not? Like, this is going to fail, isn't it? Like, where is it? There we go. Look at that. This is the shot of Whaka 100 that you've been the poster boy for this for, I don't know, some years now. We all know what happens. This isn't a what happens next question because everybody can see what happens next. Right. What's your plan of attack for this? Are you going to get off and walk? Well, you're going to take Anita's thing and you're going to get off and walk the water, aren't you?
Section. Well, I'm going to have 162 Ks of wearing myself up and out and warming myself up for this specific moment, isn't it? There's going to be about 3,500 people that have already ridden through this particular section by the time I actually get there. So it's just full send. Like this particular photo was taken when we were riding as a pair, and I'm pretty sure I was like, I'll go first, Angus, because I'll suss it out for you. But wasn't that the case?
No, I think I'm standing on the bank
laughing
on the other side going, where did you go? I think I'm already over the other side.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. So no, we'll just go and send that and see what happens. And I wonder if I do make it, whether the photos will be deleted and I'll have to come back again next
by
year.
the time you get there, the cameraman's probably already gone home, mate. I'm sorry, or he's gone to get a flash because it's dark in the forest now.
That's probably right.
Or something. Righto, give us
your bring that up.
My pleasure. Give us your 3 final preparation tips, mate.
I guess as we talked about bikes, so get your bike sorted. That's number one. And talking to Tim Farmer, the race director, that's the main reason why people don't finish this. It's not their body, it's not their legs, it's actually their bike. So get your bike sorted. That will be number one. Less is more. Like, we haven't got long to race day now, so actually make sure that you just rest up and be fresh. Freshness on the start line is super key from that. And just make a plan for your day. What time are you going to get out of bed? How are you going to pace yourself? What's my nutrition going to be? Where are those aid stations? And then just go, right, I've trained as well as I can. I'm here and I'm ready to go and have an awesome time. And let's just go and execute that plan and walk forward to the challenge and have some fun.
And what can go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? How bad can it possibly be?
With a plan like that, what can go wrong, mate? Okay, righto. Well, that's good. You sound pretty good. You sound pretty confident. You're pretty jubilant about it. I think you're going to go well, mate.
Well, we'll see. Well, there'll definitely be a war story to tell. I think actually on that, the best thing about this for me is that it's not like let's do a time or let's race this. It's actually I just want to see if I can actually do it, and that goes back to the reason why I first started doing this whole endurance stuff. Is I don't know if I can do that. Let's go and have a crack. So yeah, we'll turn up and see what happens.
Righto. Well, section number 2 of tonight's podcast, mate. We are absolutely privileged to have with us tonight Trek Factory Racing's Anton Cooper. Welcome, Anton. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yourself?
You look like you've just done one of Richard's Wednesday night roadies, mate.
Yeah, I've just had 5 hours in the hills. Just got back. So
I just had 5 hours in the hills, Richard.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've just had tea. You've just got that done as well.
Yeah,
got some recovery going on.
A bit of food in me. I was up in Hamner last night, and I didn't get back till a bit later, and then I didn't get on my bike till 2, and then I went out on the road bike initially, but then my free hub, I blew my free hub up on a climb, and I had to come around and change to my mountain bike. So it ended up being quite a fun ride actually on the mountain bike.
Too much horsepower?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I've ridden that wheel for a while now. It's probably due to go at some point.
Good.
Well, look, back in New Zealand, right? So that's the first thing is you're home finally from a big year overseas, eh?
Yeah, it's always a big year. They seem to make them longer each season. Like the season gets longer, I do a bigger stint overseas. But yeah, it's nice to be back. Yeah, it's definitely nice to be back. Always good to be home in New Zealand.
When did you get back?
Maybe it's been back a while now, maybe even like a month, which is quite early for me to come home. I left like late March after Oshis or on Oshis and then Brazil and then straight to Europe. So I've been on the road for still a decent chunk of time, but yeah, I managed to come back a little earlier, which was nice. I had planned to stay until about this time. But you know, when I got COVID just before Com Games, and then the last couple of races of the year were just a bit rough. I didn't have training in the legs and I was feeling a little flat, not quite myself. So I decided to just call it a break after the last World Cup and come home and skip the last few Cat 1s.
What'd you make of the season this year over there? Is it getting look, you know, I watch every race pretty much of the 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐄 and things, and it just continues to get tougher and tougher, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like the depth in mountain biking now is huge. There's so many guys who could win a race on their day. Different guys can be on the podium, and I feel like, you know, if you're off by a tiny bit, you're just you lose so many places. Like you could take, you know, call it like a few pedal strokes off or half a lap, but just you button off from 100% to 95 and you lose like 10 spots. And yeah, it's just crazy how competitive it is. And that's not going to change. It's only going to become even more competitive. It's just a matter of becoming consistently at the top, and that's always what everyone strives for. But yeah, some like Nina have been able to do it for years.
Mate, he's amazing, isn't it? Is just really quickly, it's not what we're here for, but I'm interested while I got you online. Has that type of racing, has it changed from when you started? Like you say, like now you're at 100% from start to finish. If you button off for one little second, you're back. I sort of think that maybe a few years ago there was sort of a bit more of a casual, well, you know, an erratic start and then a bit more of a casual period before something would go. But it seems everybody's just leaning on it from the minute the flag drops.
Yeah, it's maybe not as tactical as it once was. It's just flat out from start to finish now. And the races have been quite short this season. We had maybe 4 World Cups, which were under like, normally their target time in the rule book is 1 hour 20 to 1:40, and typically races aren't much over 1:30 if they are. Like they'll try target around 1:20, 1:25, but we had like 4 odd races around 1 hour 15, and that's quite a big difference to a 1 hour 30 race. And I'm the kind of rider that always, I'm the fastest in the, I'll set like the top 3 sort of fastest lap time on the last lap of my race, or the last couple of laps. That's, if you just took the last couple of laps, I'm definitely one of the faster guys in the race. So I take maybe a little bit to, maybe not a little bit to get going, but I struggle a little bit in the midsection of the race and come always strong at the end. So I feel like a couple of times I've been missing that last extra lap, like that drop to 1:15 sort of hurt me a bit. So I like seeing the races more up around an hour and a half, and a tactical race can suit me quite well also, rather than like that constant just threshold pace sort of race. Tactical race. I've got power in the legs. I can punch it out in those bursts. But you need some recovery at times to be able to do that also.
What was a highlight of your Northern Hemisphere season?
I think for me, like my best results in the year were the Nova Mesto World Cup, which is also probably my favorite World Cup. The fans, the track. It's one that I consistently perform well at. I've been on the podium. I won my first World Cup there as a junior. I've been second there in a really close race sprint with Nino one year. I was 4th this year, sharing the podium with my teammate and taking the team's overall. That was something that I hadn't done before. I never shared a World Cup podium with a teammate, and winning the World Cup, like the team's overall, that was really cool. So that was probably the highlight of the year for me. The weekend after that, I also won another race in the Czech Republic. And so things were tracking quite nicely at that point of time.
Best plans, all best laid plans. You just can't.
Exactly. And then sickness, and that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, but and is that? I mean, that must be tough to take as an athlete at that level too, right? Like when it's all tracking, and this is what you've been building for so long, and then something that's uncontrollable really takes it away. Yeah,
absolutely. And it was an up and down year. Like I was hit by a car out training. I broke my left scaphoid, my wrist, just before Christmas. And so all that base training that you'd normally do, like your 4 or 5 hour rides, you can't, you'd be a madman if you're doing them on the indoor trainer. Like if you're doing 20, 25 hour weeks on the indoor trainer, like props to you, but that's not for me. So, I mean, I did my best. I was on the indoor trainer for like at least 8 weeks. And that sucked over summer and that time of year that you just want to do long Ks and build the base. And it really took me a bit to get going during the year. Like I was able to get back on the mountain bike like 2 days before mountain bike nationals, and I kind of scraped through there. I scraped through Oceania a couple of weeks after that, or a few weeks after that. But, just getting to the start line of those races probably meant that, when I got back outside on the bike, I wasn't really focusing on building that base still. I was just focusing on it's trying to be good for the cross-country races. And then suddenly straight from Oceanias to Brazil, I got a stomach bug there, so I couldn't race the short track. I managed to make it out of bed for the cross-country, but you're pretty drained. So I think I was about 16th, which all things considering was good, but it just took me a while to really step into the season and get going. And once those May races, June kind of rolled around, I was riding really strong in the Czech Republic and in Austria and Leogang. I had really good World Cup results there. So when things fell apart just for Com Games, that was another big blow. And I felt I was on very, very good form just before the Commonwealth Games. I didn't get to show anything there because I couldn't take the start line, and which was a shame that we couldn't take a Kiwi 1, 2, 3, but that's the way it goes. So yeah, I've just got to focus now on next year, and I think I got a lot of my bad luck out of the way this season, and I'm hoping next year is going to be a bit smoother sailing.
Great attitude. Hey, look, this would normally be your off season, but of course you normally come home, have an off season, I suppose. You're about to line up to the Whaka 100, which we'll talk about in a minute, but you've also got Tour of Southland on the cards as well, correct?
Yeah.
So why load up so much in this point?
Well, Tim's always been asking me to come up, and I always had to turn him down because it's the last couple of years with 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐄, I either haven't been out in time, or the season's just run quite late, and I've really just been keen to have an off season.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing this time was I'm home a little earlier, so it's given me a chance. And also with COVID, I really wasn't training much at all through August. And then I had another 2.5 weeks off in September. And then after that, I was sort of ready to actually get back on the bike again. So, yeah, I think I'm obviously these are not events that I'm going to be in my very best form for, but still, like, I've had a few weeks back on the bike after a break. So, and I feel healthy again. I feel reasonably fit. So I'm just looking forward to doing a couple of events that I've never had the chance to do. And I guess it's, you don't get the chance to do it every year, especially with the Olympics being on. Like unfortunately, I won't be able to do it next year, for example, just with leading into an Olympic year. It's a bit too much to ask, but this year is just one that was going to work for me. And I figured if I was doing one of them, I might as well do the other since they're only a week apart.
Right.
So,
Because that's how logic works.
This time I've lumped them both in there. And I'll have another break after Southland, and I'll have another couple of weeks off there and mid-November, and then look to building into the next season throughout sort of late November, December onwards.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're enjoying riding your bike, which is awesome right now. What are you most looking forward to about Whaka?
Well, I know there's great trails in Rotorua, and I've spent I don't ride there as much as you'd think, but I've raced there a few times. And I haven't really been up in a few years. So I'm quite excited to just get back up there. I know it's a long race. I think it's 107K or something. And from what I've heard, a huge portion of that is single track. So for me, just to get out in a race, to ride these great trails that I know Rotorua has, and to do that as part of an event is always cool. I always like riding events and races, and taking the start line with hundreds of other riders is always a cool thing to do. And I guess show my face because I haven't been here before. So I'm just excited to see a whole lot of people and race my bike.
Awesome.
I love that. I love the fact that, maybe show your face isn't quite the right word for that, because you're always busy. So it's not like you don't do that on purpose, but I love the fact, you know what I mean? But I love the fact that, one of the things that makes you, the reasons to go there, that one of the joys you're going to get out of that is actually being able to be there for the people and just, which is great, because, we don't always get to, well, you're not going to get to rub shoulders with him, but except when he comes past when you're doing the miler. That's right. So that's bloody awesome. Hey, listen, you mentioned earlier about that your legs normally come right in the last lap or so of an XCO race. So does that mean for the marathon event that you're actually definitely the guy to beat? Like you're going to have these legs that are just going to come on for the last,
Or they
it's only one lap, so let's.
It's the first lap and the last lap. So, I don't have too much experience doing these marathon style races. There's one race in Canterbury, the St. James Epic, which I often do, and that's 104K. It takes normally around 4.5 hours for me. I normally ride well in that, but at the same time, it's not the same level as competition like we'll have up at the Whaka. So it's kind of exciting to race something different and to try an event of that distance. That's new to me, and also the road tour in Southland a week later. That's also going to be a challenge.
Send it and see what happens. Is by the sounds of it, a bit of your race plan.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is I train some solid rides. I do some big days out. It's obviously not at the race intensity, but I've done some big races before, also road nationals and stuff like that, which are good, tough days in the saddle. I've come through them okay, but the main thing is always that you're eating enough. And drinking enough, because that's something you can forget about when you're not having to do that so much in an hour and a half XCO race.
Have you looked at any start list? Have you talked to any of the boys? I guess you know that the Olivers are going to be, or one of them is anyway. Ben's going to be there. Is Craig going or not? Do you know? You'll know that.
I think Craig might have a flight and an entry, but I don't know if he's committed to it yet. I think after he got COVID right at the end of the year, and I think his girlfriend's got him busy beekeeping up in Whaka, so I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get time off.
Oh, hey, well, I don't know if you have looked at the start list. Just going back, those boys have been here a couple of times before, so there's nothing wrong with letting them lead and following their wheel for a bit. Let them get the pace. They know where they're going.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really know the start list. I know Ben's going to be there. Yeah, I've talked with Ben a bit, ridden with him quite a lot. So I know, yeah, he's said good things about the event. But, I mean, racing someone with experience on the course is always a challenge because they're kind of going to know a lot more about it than I do. And I think I'll probably just have to be smart in the race. And like you say, just follow people a little bit until later in the race, more the business end of things.
Good stuff. Have you got a training tip for others a week out? What's maybe a piece of advice that you could give to others a few days before the race to make sure that we're in good shape and can go and do our best?
The main thing a week out is that you're not doing too much, to be honest, because it's a big day out. It's going to take a lot out of the body, and you're going to need those energy stores that your body's going to call upon those reserves for later in the race. And if you depleted yourself the whole week, you're not going to have them there. So yeah, take it easy. You're not going to work any miracles by training 20-hour week the week of the race. So yeah, just keep a lid on things. I'd say keep a couple of openers in there, but don't overdo it.
By openers, what do you mean by that?
Just a couple of efforts where your heart rate gets up, nothing too extreme or extended, but you might do like a couple of threshold efforts or something at least a few days out from the race, and a couple of shorter efforts sort of 2 days out from the race, like a sort of 4x2 minute sort of effort, just to kind of keep the body reminded that it's a race mode still, but not something hard enough that you're gonna really pay for it.
Yeah, nice. So it's rev the engine, but don't tire yourself out.
Yep. yeah, pretty much. More of a reminder to your body, like you've done the training in the weeks before. I hope you have. Yep. And it's just a reminder to the legs and the body that we're on for a race. You don't want to go to sleep, but you don't want to put yourself in a hole either.
We were talking to Anita before and about getting nervous before the start of a race like this. She doesn't sleep the night before. How does a pro like you deal with nerves? Do you still even get them? Look as he relaxes back on the couch here as we speak. But is there still nerves? Do you still get them?
You've done a few races now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done a lot. I never really had huge nervous issues or anything like that. But of course, I do get nervous, and probably one of the problems or the times you get most nervous is when you get into bed and you don't have anything else to think about. So yeah, you can start thinking about it. But I've done enough races now that I don't stress too much about things, and I manage to fall asleep normally okay, like a normal hour before most races. I'm no sports or psychologist expert, but I think that having race experience, doing a lot of big races helps. I don't tend to get too nervous about New Zealand or domestic races. But obviously racing, important races, World Cups. I think especially races where you're on great form and you got a real chance at doing well, and you might get nervous then about sleeping poorly because it might be the only thing that would ruin your race. So and it's like that final hurdle.
That's right. Olympic Games, those really big key races. What is one or two things you try and do just to help manage those nerves on the start line?
God, I don't even really know if I have any specific techniques. I just do me. I've got my routines
Good
before the
advice.
start, so I go through my warm-up process, and normally I'm arriving maybe at the track an hour 15 maybe before the start. I don't like to be there too early because I'm just sitting around doing nothing. And at World Cups, the crowds are busy. Like, you've got the girls warming up before you. There's huge crowds outside wanting a photo or an autograph or something, and it can be really hot in the tent. So you don't really want to be spending that energy either. So I like to roll down from the hotel, the accommodation, reasonably close to the start. Probably get my number pinned on by one of the soigneurs, and then start to warm up sort of about 50 minutes before the start. And we have also in World Cups and stuff, Olympics, the boxes, which are like the holding pens close to the start line where you might have your rollers set up just for warming up. They would close around 15 minutes before the start, or open around 20 minutes before. So you've kind of got these routines in place, and that also helps with it because you just stick to those routines, and it's just like, it's work for us at the end of the day. It's our job. So you kind of get into that routine, and you're like, here we go. It's another day at the office, and
let's get into it.
Just get into it.
Good.
Well, before we go, I've got one more question. What's your go-to playlist? Like when you're warming up, when you're in that
I have a playlist that I don't even really know what's on there, but I basically would, if I find an absolute banger, I'd chuck it in there if I know it's going to get me G'd up before the start.
What is that? What is the banger?
What's the latest?
Yeah, what's the latest banger that'll get you G'd up?
I've got a whole lot of stuff. I'm just looking, there's a bit of J. Cole on there. There's a bit of Jay-Z, Linkin Park. Yeah, there's a bit of rap, there's a bit of rock, there's a bit of everything.
It depends on the country I'm in.
I just chuck it on and hit shuffle, and and I always skip on my headphones if I need something.
Good job.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, so good, so good. Anton, mate, thank you so much for joining us. All the best. Now, national champs, did we even talk about that? There's a national jersey on the line. I guess was that any enticement to go, or were you committed to going before that got announced?
I'd already committed to going before that was announced, but that's obviously a sweetener to the deal as well. So we haven't had a national title for marathon in a very long time. So, it'd be cool to take that jersey if I can, and any national jersey you get to wear is always a huge privilege. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Brilliant. We'll go in full send. Look forward to cheering you on as you fly past 1,000,000 miles an hour and just go and have some fun riding all the different trails in Rotorua.
Yeah, sounds good. See you up there.
Cheers, Anton.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
Good job. That's help get you fizzed up for this thing.
Oh, I'm still on the couch, mate.
No.
Look, I would love to. Look, I really honestly would love to think that I was back fit enough again. Obviously I've been away for a bit. I haven't been riding a bike, and I'm just starting again now, as you saw tonight.
Yeah.
And I'd love to think that I would be back there one day and be fit enough to be able to do this again. And that's definitely an intention of mine to do that. I do miss it.
It's just about setting a target, isn't it? Setting a goal, go and then break it down bit by bit, and then just go and execute it and see what happens. So, yeah, who knows? Angus Petrie may be on the start line in 2023. We're just not sure yet.
I'll just wait and see how you turn up out of after the miler, mate.
If I turn up.
Before we go, a couple of quick takeaways there, mate. Make sure you got your bike sorted.
Make sure you get your bike sorted.
It's a pretty important piece of equipment.
A long run, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. So make sure you get your bike sorted. Just chill out and look after yourself, and just go and make the most of that event atmosphere that's up there, and cheer a whole bunch of people on and have some fun.
Absolutely. And again, thank you for everyone for watching tonight. Good luck if you're going to Whaka 100. All the best. We will be back post Whaka 100.
That's right, for a bit of a recap show. Big thank you to Anita and Anton for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and obviously looking forward to meeting those guys up there as well.
Absolutely. Big thanks to Team CP, your endurance coaching specialists, for bringing this podcast to you for the Izuzu Whaka 100. Everybody, again, thank you for watching. Good night. Good luck.
Travel safe. Have some fun.
Go well. Oh, hey, high five, mate. Good luck.
Good job.
Good luck for you. 100 miles. See you later.